Welcome to Kolme Group's clarizen function in a flash, where each episode we introduce you to a new clarizen function and show you how to use it. Hi, I'm Cornelia Homewood, and I'm one of the senior consultants at Kolme Group. I am a certified PMP and organizational change practitioner. I have been configuring clarizen since 2019. With me today is Grant.
Hi, I'm Grant McAllister. I am also a certified PMP with over 10 years project management and business analysis experience. I love learning about the new functions in clarizen, and today we're exploring the GetReportURL function.
I love reports. Will we get to see a pie chart?
I can promise you a bar chart.
Excellent. The name of the function sounds like it's simply going to get the URL of a report. Is that what this is about?
Yes, this function is used to generate a URL of a clarizen report. It can be used for things like if you need to email a report to sponsors, or if you want to launch a report directly in a separate window, or even if you want to embed a report in a custom panel.
Great. So the benefit here is to make reports more accessible to users. You don't need to go on a long, let's say, Middle-earth journey in search of your reports in the clarizen reports module.
Exactly. And here is the syntax. To get report URL, and inside the parentheses include the report ID from clarizen, and if the report has runtime parameters, separate those out using commas.
Right. So when you build out reports, you can specify parameters, which you're really just adding a filter like region or status.
Yeah, that's right. I can show you what that looks like. Okay, here's an example report that if I try to run it, it will ask me for additional info. In this case, it's asking me to identify a project as the parameter in order to run this report.
I see. So parameters that are set up on your reports, you would need to populate those in the GetReportURL function.
Right. And now to understand what this function is doing, I like to start off with a simple custom action to just display what the function is doing in a success message. So here I have a GetReportURL custom action. I'm going to go ahead and run that. And you'll see that it pulls up a URL of a report that I've already identified. It's basically a hard-coded in report right there that it's pulling up. I've also created a second one that actually includes parameters. And there you go.
I see. So the second one, we can see the extra information at the end of the URL, like P-4811.
Yes. And let's see how that's set up in clarizen. So here's my custom action. Down here in the success message, you see the GetReportURL function. And this one doesn't require any parameters, so I'm literally just hard coding in a report ID. The success section actually lets you open up a URL directly from here, so it won't just show a URL, you can actually launch a URL. Let's see what that looks like. Apply that. I'm going to run this custom action again. And you'll see that it launches the report.
What a cool trick. This is awesome. Can we explore some use cases?
Yes, let's run through two use cases. First, I want to allow project managers easy access to view all cases attached to a project. From their project, they can select a custom action, which will pop up a report for cases specifically attached to this project.
That can save a lot of clicks for the PM rather than having to navigate to the reports module.
That's right. And for the second example, I want sponsors, which have a lot on their plate, to be able to use the GetReportURL with automation to, prompt them on high priority items. So here we're going to email the project sponsor. I have a workflow rule that will email the sponsor when a high priority case is created. This email will have two hyperlinks. It will have a hyperlink for the current high priority case that was just created and a link for the full case report for context. And here is the syntax for both of these examples.
Oh, okay, I see. You're using the getRuntimeParameter function to point to the current object for the first one, which would be the project,
right?
And planned for the second one, since it runs on the case object, we need to tell clarizen which project it is connected to, and that's how we use plan for. Yeah.
All right, let's have a look at these in clarizen. For this first one, we wanted to run a report from the project. So here's my project, and I can go to my actions menu here and click Get Report URL on project. And so this is going to launch a report directly from that custom action, just like that. Now let's look at this as a custom, let's look at the custom action for this. So here's the custom action. And we'll see it set up just like we did our first example, where it's launching the get report URL directly from the success message. And you'll see right here that that current object is my runtime parameter.
That makes a lot of sense. Can we see the second example?
Yes. So let's hop back over to my project. And from here, let's add a critical risk. And that critical risk should be triggering an email to our project sponsor. So let's go ahead and click on here. Let's go ahead and add a risk. Critical risk on the project. We'll set the importance here to critical, and I'll go ahead and save that. You'll see here that I have my workflow rule also triggers a message that says this high priority case triggered an email to the sponsor. You'll see that an email just popped up here. I have the email also attaching to the project, so it's easy to look at it. And here is my email. So I have two links attached. Let's go ahead and look at those. This first one is a link to the risk that was just created. There it is. And the second URL is my get report URL that will allow the user to see allow the project sponsor to see all the issues attached to this, and so they can see the context for that high priority risk.
Oh, wow. That report is getting a lot of visibility today. Can we see them behind the scenes?
Yes, here's the workflow rule. It's triggered for critical cases right there. And then we'll scroll to the bottom. And this is where it's sending the email to the project sponsor. And then here you'll see the get report URL link.
Ah, and I see you're embedding the get report URL inside of the hyperlink function, so it displays nicely in the email.
Yes, that's how clarizen knows to format it as a URL so it can be clicked on.
I see another get object URL in the first line of your email. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, that's for another day and another function in a flash.
Okay, I'll watch that one next. Grant, what else should we know about get report URL?
Okay, yes, we have a couple quick tips and tricks when using this function. First off, there are two functions that are very useful to use in conjunction with get report URL. The get runtime parameter function is useful when needing to reference other objects from your report. And as we saw in the last example, the hyperlink function is useful when you need to display the URL as a clickable link. And because you are now embedding report IDs, kind of hard coding those inside of your configuration, you should make sure there is governance around deleting that report. Otherwise, it will break your business rules.
Good tips. Thank you, Grant, for walking us through the function GetReportURL. If you have questions on this function, hit us up on our forum at kolmegroup.com. And if you found this useful and are ready to take your clarizen skills to the next level, check out the link below for Kolme University, or reach out for individual consulting and training for you and your organization.